I think it's so funny that you and I are seemingly from the outside, we are complete opposite people.
Actually,
in terms of a lot of our personalities and.
Actually, when we got married, before we had to have marriage counseling, and we took a test. It was a requirement for our counseling, and the results that came back were literally 50-50. Like the whole test, everything, we scored 50-50.
Yeah. And it's just so funny to me that, because you think about the person that you are signing up to spend the rest of your life with, or even if you're not married to somebody, like somebody that you're like investing that time into, like you would think that
you'd want to be the same.
You would want to be the same. You would want to have a lot of the same interests. And
you would think that like in a friendship, in a work relationship, in a marriage, in a
and,
whatever relationship.
And for whatever reason, in our particular circumstances, the fact that we are not those things
is the best
I
thing.
think it benefits a lot of how our lives go. Now, do I think it presents its own challenges sometimes?
Everything has challenges.
Sure, I definitely think that that's the case. But today, on this episode today, we actually have a lot of evidence-based topics in terms of what we're talking about, because some of the things that we are talking about are heavily rooted in scientific studies and things like that. And we didn't want to just kind of be up here and rambling about what's going on.
But I want to make sure, like, when we talk about each topic that we're going to reference today, like, we're definitely going to give credit where credit's due. So we're going to read a little bit more than our average.
But there actually is a science behind the attraction process of what attracts one thing to another.
Like why opposites attract?
Or not necessarily that, but just
the law of attraction.
There's a law of attraction, right? And it's both psychological and biological. And in a study done by the University of Kansas, they actually found that couples who are more similar in personality experience less conflict, but those who are different can have a more dynamic relationship. And this comes from a study in 2013. But I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I wholeheartedly agree with it too. And we both have some past experiences to back that up.
I mean, my last relationship before you, I mean, we were very much like the same person. Very easygoing, timid people, quiet people, right? And I mean, if you've watched any of our past episodes and you've heard us talk about it, I'm not a conversation starter, right? So,
but neither was she.
Right. So that, like, a lot of talks that probably needed to happen didn't ever happen.
And for me,
right,
and all of my relationships prior to our marriage were with, people very similar to me.
Big personalities.
Outgoing, very loud spoken, I would say confrontational type of, want to have control of a conversation. And the conversations that could have been, contained by one person or the other never were. So I definitely agree that, people that are different can have a more dynamic relationship because
we bring it out in each other.
Right.
Or
I bring out.
You bring out like my internal thoughts and all of that, and
you quiet
I calm you down in places where you don't need to be as loud and as boisterous and all of that.